there. All right, guys. So thank you guys for being here, and thank you for sharing a little bit about yourself and your background, just to kind of get an idea of where we can drive the conversation. And at any point you feel like, hey, Philip, can you like slow down, go back a couple paces? We'll definitely cover that and do so. Okay. With the recording, you'll be able to see kind of how we set it up on Google Calendar on that platform. Just some frame of reference. I use Google and it matches into my iPhone calendar. And it also, I use a paper calendar as well. So I'm a little old school when it comes to, just the basic 12-month planner right from KW. Oops, that fired away. Got a little nervous there. Sorry. So I use a paper calendar and I use a Google calendar, and any planner that you choose to use, it'll work, right? You don't have to totally be married to the online side of it. It's just really whatever you're going to end up working. That's your tool, right? I know very successful people who do not use paper calendar. They do not use Google. They don't use iPhone. They literally get up and get to work, and that's a gift, right? They have some sort of predisposition in their brain and their abilities to do that. And I'm not one of those guys or gals, right? I tend to live a very relatively structured life that Monica would say is not structured at all, right? Total craziness. And yet within those time blocks, we're able to accomplish one win going forward. Real quick, Nicholas, if you can introduce yourself to the crowd and the group here, a little background about yourself.
My name is Nicholas Tapkaliza. Weird last name, I know, but this is what it is. So I was a soccer player all my life. Then I got injured. It happens, unfortunately. So I stopped playing soccer and I graduated in sports academy. And I was a personal trainer for 11 years. And I always loved real estate. So now I'm in real estate. This is my short.
Dang. There you go.
Oh, that part.
And
I play on the guitar as well.
Hit up his Instagram sometime. It's like Thor, the Georgian Thor. Oh, I mean that in all the best ways. So in sharing, I wrote down here the priorities, and we have that different Keller Williams offices. If you're in Ignite, you're seeing it. I wrote here God, family, right, or faith, family, finances, faith, family, fitness, finances. However you set that up, there's a higher power, and then it's our family, right? If we don't keep those things, I'm not trying to stand on a box here or anything, but in order for the time blocks to actually work, at least the way we're going to learn it today, or the way I share it, or the way I've adopted it myself, is that you keep those two the priority. Everything else can fit in. I first learned about like time blocking. It was 2004. We were sitting in this convention hall, and this gal named Debbie Harbis was talking about, hey, everything I have here green is my prospecting and appointments, right? Everything that's blue is our meetings, our training, and everything. I think it was red at the time, or purple is my family time. And there was a crap load of family time in there. And I wasn't mature enough to understand that family above all, or faith and family above all, makes that green time that we block, that prospecting and appointment time, the most effective. That training time, the most effective. Because at least fast forward about 10, 11 years later, it started making sense. Like, oh, every time I tried to time block and say prospecting was my main thing, and forgot about like the family time and all the other aspects, I got very little out of it, right? Jim Rohn would say, you're working at your job, thinking about your family time, and you're on your family time thinking about your work that you didn't attend to when you needed to be there, right? So all of this that we're about to share only will work out. Like, you can have the coolest, prettiest calendar, color-coded to a T, on automatic repeat, all this stuff, but you won't feel fulfilled if A, you don't know what you want, and B, you don't set aside that honorable time for your family. I'm going to show you the end result of time blocking. I think this is the one. I opened it on a and now everyone online, do you guys see this? Thumbs up, maybe?
Yeah.
Anyone? Okay, cool.
Yes, we see it.
Thank you, guys. So if you notice here, the team meeting went a little longer than expected. Oh wait, the time block there. So you can make adjustments to your time block.
You can scroll them down.
Yeah, you can move them around. I'm kind of a geek for that. Let's say this goes on a little longer. I'm not totally bummed, and you can just move this one down and kind of fit it around other. other points. But my point is that the Google Calendar allows you to kind of schedule it, set it, and work around it. Now, granted, I'm not exactly up at 4 o'clock. My wife knows I'm probably, the alarm goes off at 4:15. This guy's still in bed. That's me. My son, though, he has his own time block and he's up at 5, works out for 45 minutes, follows a game plan, and then he's going to be like the fittest 13-year-old ever.
Wow.
So I kind of follow in his footsteps and think, God, yeah, I really should do at least 25 crunches to kind of maximize my workout time. But this PAX FC, so I'm just taking you through like a basic morning, right? PAX FC, if anyone ever followed the Roman Empire, they called it Pax Romana. That was the peace and prosperity that existed within the Roman Empire. And so I kind of adopted that into that family time. So I gave it kind of a cool, trendy name that was meaningful to me. You guys can name it family time, break time, whatever. I have a TLF or a little mini huddle with our leadership group every morning from 7:15 to 7:30. Transition right into DA3. This is, and I'm going to show you how to write this all out and resave it. It's our direct action items, so I clear through my emails, messages, DMs, stuff like that. And I'm usually here at the office by about 7:25, 7:30. So a lot of this is on the phone and then right into the workload. We have forward mindset in the morning, a first and 10, and I'm going to go through these bullet points and then relate it to like creating a schedule of our own. Under first and 10, that's like those heavy calls. If you guys are on forward mindset this morning, you guys heard me say sometimes you're just eating that largest frog for the day. And sometimes that largest frog isn't like a new lead or a new client. Sometimes if you're working multiple transactions, it might be calling a client, or you have multiple listings. It might just be getting a heavy negotiation out of the way or a heavy update. Like, oh God, I really don't want to call, Mike with an $80,000 request of price reduction. He's going to flip out. Well, cool, good. I better make it now, 8:30. Get it over with, right? Don't let it fester. Think about it, right? That 7:30 block where I'm cleaning through emails. Why is it green? Because there's money in our emails, right? There's inquiries on there. There's people sending us offers. There's just different things on there that translates money that you need to clear through. The amount of people I've missed on Facebook Messenger because I never checked it, stupid, right? So I created a time block for me to go in there and clear through Facebook Messenger to make sure I was replying to people who have real estate needs. Now, yeah, I'm a part of a lot of group text messages too, and I just kind of go red or thumbs up, awesome, whatever. But there are people who are inquiring because of the stuff that we post, right? Or they don't want to text us. They think, oh, hey, that's a little too personal. I'm going to go backdoor it and use Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat or whatever, right? And then we have, that's tomorrow. Sorry, different block. Lead follow-up. So I'm a little bit reverse. I know we're taught prospect. You get to a tipping point though, where your prospecting actually stunts your growth, right? And then I'll probably be the only guy to say that. But the reason for that is that you're constantly looking for new and forgetting that there were like 50 people who said yes, prior to the new people you're trying to follow up with. So one of my coaches said, well, Philip, you got a database of so many people. Like, how many people have said yes to you over the last 2 years? And I was like, oh, I don't know, 12, right? But when you really go through it, you're like, holy crap, there's a lot of people on opportunities list if you're using command, or if you're using a spreadsheet, right? And that's like a cuss word right now. But if you're using a spreadsheet or paper and you stack all that up, there's like lots of people that we may have forgotten about as life has happened. And they weren't ready at that time, but a year later, 6 months later, 3 weeks later, they're ready. So keeping tabs on that lead follow-up, incredibly important. And then going right into our hour of power. Traditionally, we don't have a meeting. It's like twice a month. I'll show you how to time block that. But the hour of power, now you're really finding raw clients. You're working through your database, maybe a target market. That could be door knocking. That could be a list of names and numbers like for sale by owners, expired, a call list around your neighborhood, notice defaults, whatever that is for you. For me, I've chosen to do it through my database. People we met in the insurance world and all that fun stuff. I time block for meetings. I time block for class. I do have a recurring time block called QRF. So you wonder, like, well, how do you stay focused when your phone's ringing? Like, I get a call from Rodeo Realty and like all these places. Like, why don't you answer those calls right away? Well, I do that in my first and 10 block if they were from yesterday, right? And I didn't get a chance to get back to them for whatever reason. I'll show you what those reasons are. I have my my 12:30, or in this case, my 1 o'clock block, or actually I did it a little after the meeting, so I'll move it up there for now. But then that was my quick reactionary force calls. That was, hey, let me return a client's call, let me return this agent's call, let me return these messages. So that half-hour block, it's a blitz. Like prioritize and execute. Like, oh, okay, this is a spam call. It literally said spam. Hey, this is like an unknown text messenger, soliciting about transaction coordinator. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. These two were clients. This is the group text we have with our client group. Okay, immediate response, right? So have you ever seen Saving Private Ryan? They're on the beaches of Normandy, and they're like, okay, this guy's, a Band-Aid. Okay, this guy's dead, practically. Okay, this guy needs attention, right? So you kind of prioritize your messages through that. And then we pick up our kids, pick up Max and Alana Asa, and I have little emojis to describe who they are: tiger, wolf, and bear, or bear, wolf, and tiger. Then there's
How often do you fill these in, like once a week? Or?
So I have it blocked until December 23, 2023.
Oh.
And then I'll show you guys how to set that up on there, the recurring thing. And then when you're on vacation, just delete it, right? Or if you're like we did, what is that place called? This is before 2020. We went to my brother-in-law's, her brother's wedding in Puerto Vallarta. And believe it or not, I still have these time blocks, right? They just happen to be like earlier in the morning, later in the afternoon, or whatever. And I might not do all of this, but I did at least my first and 10, clearing through emails, returning most important calls. That's a 30-minute to half-hour block. And that's it, and that's how you maintain as a solo agent, how you keep your business in between the lines. I learned the hard way when we disappeared to the Philippines. There were like 4 people, Nestor, they wanted this short sale their home, and I didn't pick up the phone. Well, duh, because I was in the Philippines, wasn't checking my voicemails like a moron. Had a great time though, lots of memories. But I didn't. It dawned on me when I got off the plane, like, oh, he wants to sell their house. How cool! Oh, we already listed because we couldn't get a hold of you. Well, no, that's on me, right? So learn that lesson for me, whatever that would have paid us, and now you guys gain the wisdom to create some safe rails. Yeah, go figure. All right, guys. So before we continue onward, I wanted to get kind of a census from the group here. Share with me kind of your whys. Like, why are you doing real estate? Like, why is it that when you accomplish your business goal here, and as you're accomplishing your business goal, what does that do for you and your household? And if you're on Zoom, please chime in. If you're here, please definitely chime in.
To make a better life for my family and my daughter, build a real estate portfolio for her.
Amen. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, build a life for a kid. Wants to care better life. I feel like any parent out here is going to get a big enough house so I can live with her. I don't want to live with my kids. My daughter would never. I'll buy themselves. They'll buy their own house.
I've asked all of them, well, you guys all have a room for me in case mommy can't
They're
be
like,
out.
no.
Atalanta, our third, said yes.
Oh, one, at least you got one.
One.
See, when you just have one, you're stuck with the no.
That's great.
Well, as a little girl, I was interested in learning about how people buy homes, adults, like how it works. But unfortunately, my father never, or anyone, I didn't have that surrounded, like the realtor in the family, like kind of share that knowledge with me. And so I love homes, and I was always thinking about what I could pass on to my kids, like the education and what they could do for their own future. And just learning and pass it on to them if I wasn't able to learn that, but it would be something that I could guide them.
That's awesome. And not to pitch this book, but can't wait. I wish I had read it sooner when it first came out, when Paul was doing his tour about it in 16 or 17. There's so many principles in that book that, our family, it's our first, my mom's the first of the family to be here in America and establishing a beachhead, for lack of better words, and then us to be able to continue it. And she did it all through almost just failing forward, total accident,
Yeah.
no principles, no fundamentals, just, oh, okay, this is what this person told me to do, and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That book kind of wraps all those fundamentals into like 37 digestible chapters, so, or whatever, how many chapters it is. It's really an easy read, and it's a fun read. But that's awesome. So yeah, I asked this question just to kind of get a feel. of where we're at. It sounds like family is secure, financial security, right, is a big part of it. Anyone online that would like to share with us?
This is Alex again.
Yeah.
Hey, so I've been thinking about getting involved in real estate for years, and a lot of my previous coworkers and friends and family said I'd be a great agent. Just go for it, and I was just dragging my feet, doing it. And with my previous job, I was a flight attendant as well, and the pandemic just wore me out. I really wanted more freedom and flexibility, and able to the sky's the limit. I can be successful if I work hard, and there's no limit on that.
100%.
So I went for it.
Excellent. So we got the entrepreneurial side too, which is what America's based on. It wasn't us all working 9 to 5s or anything like that. It was the entrepreneurs who actually signed the Declaration of Independence and said, hey, you know what, we're not working for someone. Why should our country be under someone, right? Anyways, not to get off the beaten path here, I'm going to go back into the Google Calendar, right? And I'm going to just wipe out like everything. They're not like disappearing. I'm just going to uncheck them. And if you see this here, like some of these things, I'm going to rehash them into like a practice version so you guys can see how we set it up. But then that's all family, everything purple, right? So you click it, bam, mornings, afternoons, all covered.
How do you create one?
Oh, I'm gonna get right into it.
Oh,
And then we go into KWRI, which is basically all of our red training that we have. A lot of it's recurring stuff. So I have flow in there, forward mindset, my MAPS coaching, team meetings, stuff like that. This is just organized real estate. This is just our, if we have stuff through SRAR, if you notice there's not a whole lot other than the broker caravan. Practice, drill, rehearse, PDR. That's like my early morning time. That's the our calls and all that fun stuff as a group. Real estate appointments. I do automatically block off listing appointments. So listing appointments kind of built in there, and I can move that around per day basis. I actually have to move Syra over. I used to have real estate lead admin. I don't actually use it anymore thanks to Maureen. I thought, woo. So Maureen, Josh, that infrastructure, that team, that operations team handles the bulk of it. So now even when I'm going through emails, I'm looking for the leads, like who's reaching out, who's inquiring through HomeBot, who's like, where is it that we can generate a conversation that leads to an appointment or follow-up interest. So thank you, Maureen, for setting us free on that. But early on, you block it in so that like, hey, I have peace of mind that all my emails are cleared, that hey, I got whatever needed to get done with escrow cleared, whatever I needed to get done with the home inspector, it's done. Right, because that's not really a prospecting lead gen activity. It's just, it's just part of the deal in terms of getting an escrow closed. So having that defined space of like admin, marketing, stuff that doesn't get you an immediate appointment today, I just color it in yellow, or I would have colored it in yellow, right? Rainmaking activities, bam, you have all of your green. That's your, what we covered, first and 10, direct action activities, your lead follow-up, your hour of power, your working lunch, because even then you're probably returning messages. It's almost like nonstop until you're with kids. Quick reactionary force, and your shutdown complete. That's the end of day return calls, messages, emails to make sure things are being facilitated. So where you go is, I'm going to walk back this way in my next today. So who here uses Google Calendar or iPhone or Apple, by the way?
you're saying who does?
Yeah, who uses Google, like Gmail and
I use Gmail.
and does anyone use iPhone or Apple? I use both.
I use both.
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys Google, and then you can link Google to your iPhone or to your Apple devices. So when you're using, if you don't want to download the calendar onto your phone or download Google Calendar onto your Mac or anything like that, you can just sync it, and then there you go. All of this gets imported onto Apple. Okay, so it doesn't matter like which user you are. So let's just say this is a blank slate. Who wants to be kind of our guinea pig for the day? Like this would be your schedule that we're building out. Any volunteers online or here in person?
You.
All right, Katie. Okay, you Katie. Maureen, okay.
I don't care.
Okay.
Either one's fine.
Awesome. And this doesn't mean that, like I was talking about bookends. We know tons of successful agents who don't have kids And it's not because they have all this discretionary time, right? They still time block to their own way, except that they might hit equinox at 4 o'clock. You know, or agents who work here without kids, they might hit the gym at 4:30 before they lock it down at 5 and get their 2-hour workout in or whatever it is. So they can shower, go home and all that fun stuff. When I was being recruited, he told me, so I'll give you the PG version of it. But he said, Philip, you know what? You come into real estate, you do your thing and go out for a hike, whatever you want to do, right? You know, but he was basically telling me that if you just knocked out your wins and got your prospect and your follow-up done and you scheduled your appointments, what else can you control? And at that point, any more hours doesn't make you a saint, doesn't get you any more deals. There's at a point where you're at a tipping point where your energy's just done. And for my wife and I, we found getting our energy back is being around our children while we have them, right? While they're still like the way they are. So
You're
And-
guys blessed.
oh,
Beautiful family.
Yes.
thank you very much.
That's for
Appreciate it.
sure.
They're weird as heck, but they know how to smile for the camera. No, I'm kidding. But no, they're awesome. We really do feel like we're blessed. And you know, when you come from a sense of gratitude, everything just seems to work better. Like even you know, Maureen and I and Monica we have this little thing going on that says good, right? Like, oh, we have a pissed off client on text message, good. You know, we have an angry agent on the other line, good. You know, hey, we have all the stuff falling apart, good. And the reason why it's good, it's like, hey, it's feedback. And you know, obviously we get better, we improve our processes and our preparation, and we go from there. So we're gonna go into settings, little tab over here, click that. And then on the bottom side here, you can go add calendar. So what you're basically doing is you're creating mini calendars. So if you, let me show you guys something. So if you go here and create something, there's this little space here that lets you add calendars. So if you do nothing, it is just a regular gray time block, and that's totally fine, right? You can set it up as you go along, and it just won't be a color-coded calendar. I mean, you can recolor it, but these little things here that we set up are its own individual calendars around that specific activity or entity, right? So I'm gonna go to calendar and we're gonna use Katie, thank you so much. Go to settings and one of the add calendars, create a new calendar. And we're gonna call it personal time. Personal time / I guess the keyboard's not working. Oh, I turn on the keyboard.
Oh, no, it's like super delayed, Philip.
Oh, I see. Okay, and I misspelled personal. All right, personal. I misspelled personal. There you are. We'll just call it personal time, right? And for me, I just call it professional development regimen. I haven't figured a better way to put it, you know, because I'm always doing something to get better, even if it's like for 15 minutes of quiet time. You can add a description in there if you wanted to, you know, but for the sake of what this is, I'll just put personal time. We'll add it under, well, I'm the owner, so it'll just be that, and I'll just put forward living, abbreviated, just so I know it's a practice calendar. I'll hit create calendar, and it'll be added into the list. I can't change the color here. I'll change it in a little bit. And then the next block you want to create with, let's say, is family time. Family time. And again, you can come up with like some cool, catchy things that resonate with you. I tend to use, I think I'm missing an I. Oh, no. Okay, cool. Family time. That's calendar in and of itself. You know, we're going to call the next one, we're not instead of lead generating, we're going to call it rainmaking. That's always a fun one to make. That's your lead generation time. Or I guess you call it lead gen, I call it rainmaking. Then you have your lead admin. That's your lead administration time. That's the time you're going to dedicate to your emails, your marketing, creating your flyers if you're doing it yourself through your Michael Lewis Marketing Suite or KW Command. Create calendar. You're gonna have another one, you're gonna call it real estate appointments. Real estate appointments. And then it's up to you guys on what you want to do. I just call it training. If you want to keep it simple. training could be a myriad of different things, not just Keller Williams, Southland Regional Association of Realtors, CAR training, YouTube. If you attend the ARIA events or NAREP, all of these opportunities, networking opportunities, I might group that all under training and eventually maybe you evolve it. Like for me, SRAR really became a huge part of my week to week, life, because I was learning, I was networking, I was condensing time frames. I just gave it its own time block and said blue is SRAR, CAR, NAR, anything training wise around organized real estate, that became it.
Well, and that's so important, I think, no matter where you are, to stay clear, to stay in the now.
100%, yeah. And it's okay if training 1 week takes up like half of your work schedule, thumbs up. Because that training allows you to be even more effective when you're prospecting, you're lead generating. Like a 10-minute thing on Zoom with Elizabeth DeCartier, why no on ULA, no on SP, led to like 30 contacts leading up to the election. Now, I didn't call every one of our clients and everyone in our database, right? But it was 30 conversations with people where I could, cement myself just one conversation more that, oh, dude, Philip's the guy, right? That team they're the ones to talk to. Something as simple as introducing why no one at ULA, no one SP. Hopefully they don't pass, right? But and you know what? If they pass or don't pass, make those calls again. Hey, congratulations, it didn't go through. Or hey, it went through, this is what it means for us now, come January of 2023, right? So there are some things that from these training events you can take and you get out there. Last thing on why training, Abraham Lincoln is quoted as saying, if I had 2 hours to cut down a tree, I would spend 1 hour sharpening my saw, right? So instead of hacking away or sawing away, and then, you get to a point where it's blunted or just not effective anymore, that's the same with us prospecting. We get to a point where we're no longer effective, right? And then it becomes one of those pieces where learning and re-educating ourselves, sharpening our skills comes into play. So we're going to create a training calendar, calendar on there. Thing Philip,
What's happening?
woo! I want to say 1 million GCI, just getting after it. What's the last one? Training, personal time. So we got family time, lead gen, personal time, rainmaking, we got real estate appointments. And then we have training on there. Okay. And then if we're missing anything, we're gonna just go back and add that in. So now we have our calendars, and let's go with personal time. Let's start fresh tomorrow. Katie, what time do you wake up?
6:15.
6:50. Okay. We rounded out. Let's just. I'll give it 6-ish, right?
All
6
right,
to
let's
7.
say 6:30.
6:30. Okay.
Because I don't get out of bed.
Yeah, no worries. And we can readjust the time. Let's say launch pad. This is just an example. This is like, hey, you're gonna go out, do your thing. I call it Miracle Morning. My Miracle Morning, MMM, and I add the words Fight Club to it because I enjoy that movie. It makes it sound cooler. And then you might put in the location, you can type in your address, home base, whatever, if it's registered. I have a description on what mine is, right? So if you just hit save and you
Are you in
adjust
create
that.
right now? Where are you at? Yeah.
I'm creating, I'm back in calendar, so I was in settings.
Okay.
here.
And you're creating an event, right?
Yeah, I'm creating an event, so I hit this back button next to settings, I'm on a blank calendar.
Gotcha.
I'm on Launchpad, and if I go to edit here, you can add a location. You can add default visibility. I usually put private. It doesn't really do
Where's
anything there.
Launchpad?
Launchpad, I'm just saying like starting of your
Oh.
day,
He's the time that
Yeah.
he's creating.
I'm just creating a
It
title.
could be like good morning, it could be.
Yeah,
wake
like
up
that.
and-
Wake up and go, whatever kind of fancies you in terms of that. And then you can go into where it says does not repeat. You can go into custom. And you can actually say, I'm gonna do this every Monday through Friday, and I'm gonna sleep in, quote unquote, till 7 on Sunday and Saturday. And I'm gonna leave those blank. And I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna use this until at least now till the end of the year, right? Until the 31st. Hit done. And now you hit save. And now that's gonna show up Monday through Friday, every day of the week, right? And if you needed to change it and say, well, I really kind of do my thing from 6 to 8, awesome. I'll just adjust it here and say Is it for all events? Sure. This and following events, all events, whatever. There you go, readjusted all the way across. And again, there's no right or wrong with your schedule, right? You know, I know people who wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning to start the day. God bless them. They're probably going to bed at 8. You know, so but that if you work with an East Coast client, yeah, you probably are getting up at 2 to get yourself ready and then to be in the right frame of mind to start working with clients who are at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning out there, right? If that's where your business is at. What happens at 8 o'clock? You know, we have forward mindset, so you might put forward mindset, and the calendar is not family time, and let's say it's training. Where's training?
Oh, that's,
There you
It's
go.
you at, I'm confused how you got to this.
Oh, yeah, okay, so. Let me just save it for now. So I get here, so if you're on the
Just a
basic
blank,
calendar, you can click
okay.
anywhere on the screen.
okay, just click on the screen anywhere, got it.
Yeah, and then you can readjust the date and time of your start. So I just happen to do it under the 9th of tomorrow.
Okay,
And I just clicked here to create Wake Up and Go as the title. Now you can always adjust the calendar, like forward mindset says training. Yeah, training, and you can also adjust the color schemes by hovering over it and then just clicking this and then picking a color that best suits you. Yeah, if you Google color wheel on Google, it'll show you like green is like growth and mindset and all that stuff, and red is like fury and engagement and action. Yeah, it sounds
so
good.
what are the things on the left gonna be in association with what's on the calendar?
So this would be your actual, like, this is your personal time. So this calendar is this,
Oh.
or called family, oh, I put it as family time, we adjusted it. So it might be your
Oh.
personal time
You have to
early in
click
the
what
morning.
it's under.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's up to you on what you want to do. I start off with personal time in the morning.
No, I mean, I don't know how to associate it to personal time, wake up and go. It just picked the first thing on the calendar.
No, whatever works for you. I mean, I'm just using this as a, or maybe you and the family wake up all at the same time and it's just go, 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 and then that kind of doubles as your family time.
Are you saying you don't know how to assign it to a title?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, thank you. You can go here under, if you click your,
Wake up and go, so click
Go
on
click
that
that.
again.
go to the little pencil that says edit
Okay.
on
Wait,
your,
wake up
yeah.
and go.
Uh,
I don't even know how to get to there. Maybe I should just be quiet. 'Cause
Oh, no, you're right. Hover, no, go back, get out of your settings.
Okay, calendar.
Now go to your blue block, yep, tap that. And then right here, you can tap that little pencil button,
Oh, okay.
and then under your calendar block where it says family, in this case, it says family time, you can change it to whatever you want to change it to.
Okay, calendar block.
And if you don't have anything to choose right there, it means you haven't created titles.
Oh, I did create
categories.
them. Let's see. They're just not showing up. Oh, I see, they're down here.
There you are. Oh, that's your color scheme, but the
Oh.
arrow box next to it. So you see that color, no, right next to it, one more to your left. There you go,
Oh, here it is. Gotcha.
nailed it.
Oh, okay, got it.
There you go. So again, this could be your personal time, could be your family prep time. But now it's in your calendar, right? Forward mindset, you can edit that in terms of training. It repeats what 8 to 8:30, and it repeats on, well, essentially every day of the week. Oops. I like customizing it because I can give it an end date. So I might say, oops, cancel. And that's how you do every second Wednesday. Oh, here it is. Sorry, guys. It does not repeat, then customize it. There you are. Sorry, guys, this is the nerdy part. Like, once we get into like the why of why we're doing it, it's like, okay, Philip, now this is the geeky part. Like, yes, this is where it becomes repetitive process. I would venture to say we're not gonna do a forward mindset on the 20, oh no, that's weird. So this year it's on, and maybe we end up doing it all the way through, but you can time block it all the way through the end of the year. Adjust it to 8:30, it's a training block, and there you go, forward mindset. Now you might not do the multiple time blocks I use, so but you might just title everything after that as lead administration. Lead admin or check emails, whatever that is. I'm just gonna put admin work. Just for sake of class time here. And you might even put the location of the office here, and what's kind of cool, it shows up on your Google Calendar to take directions to the office if you're driving out here. Go to more options. And then I'm gonna put repeat. And again, this could adjust, like if you saw mine, if there was different days for different things, because I have an alternating schedule with flow coaching and an alternating schedule with the leadership huddle with Stephanie and all these other pieces that kind of throw wrenches into the day. But my one priority from a lead generation standpoint would be the 1st and 10, would be my lead follow-up and my hour of power. All of that done before 12 o'clock. It might not be at the same linear time every day, adjusted for flow, adjusted for different things. But they do indeed still get done. Any questions so far with what I'm doing here?
Where do you get that custom recurrence?
So if you hover over repeat or does not
I see,
repeat,
does not repeat.
you can go to custom
Oh, I see.
and then you can edit it as you
I
wish.
see, okay.
Yeah, and at any point you can always extend the date if you don't want to rehash everything. Like what I do, I just extend the date over and then bring the calendar into existence there. Or you can say it never expires, right? And that's fine too. I tend to give it some sort of expiration date. And you always hear Stephanie say, "Hey, time block your vacations." Yeah, it's the perfect time to do it. While your calendar's blank, you can kind of zoom out. To like your monthly calendar. And maybe you have the kids' schedules or whatever, and you actually see what's okay, where do I want to take time off? All right, I'll take time off. The kids are out of school on June 9th, or actually June 8th. That's their last day of school. And I'm gonna say, okay, from the 12th till family vacation. And I'm gonna say it's from June 12th. I'm gonna change the end date to the 21st. And I don't have the location yet, but I'm gonna put maybe I put Bahamas and bring it into existence. Bahamas. Here we go. Oh, not Bahama Street. Don't be that. Password. Oops. Bahamas. Bam. I can put a description, whatever. I can add people to it. Let Monica know that we're going there. Yeah, you can add a guest to it. All that fun stuff, and hit save. And there you go. Now when you're planning out your year or looking into, hey, can I attend that event on such and such time? Maybe not, because you're going to be a family vacation, right? And that's where it's kind of cool. This is where it becomes a choose your own adventure by starting with the end in mind and working down to the granular. Now I'm showing you guys like how to create like kind of the basics, like just the little calendar ads. You can color code it as you see fit, and then you can play around with the calendar, delete stuff that doesn't apply to that vacation time. Maybe at this time when you take a break, you're like, cool, I'm going to leave it to my partner, and my partner's already getting what they're getting, so I'm going to vanish for 9 days, 10 days, and enjoy this time that I've earned, right? Or whatever it is. We wouldn't. The year we started blocking like vacation time without like having, it's weird to say, right? Because it's not, So it was 2017 and it was 2016, we blocked the family vacation to the Philippines in 2017, like essentially June through July, or like the bulk of June into July. It's like 4 weeks away, right? And we didn't have at the time the money to do it. It wasn't like I went online to buy the tickets. I said, you know what? Here's the time that I'm gonna go, June through July, end of June, mid-July, and I'm gonna buy the tickets by my mom's birthday on April 9th. And I was telling her this and telling Monica this back in like November, December, as our business wasn't even really like there. And guess what? On my mom's birthday, I sent her a receipt and said, hey, now you really got to block the time off with your job because we're going to the Philippines, right? And it was one of those, holy crap, we did it. We actually followed through on something a mentor or a sideline agent told us to do, and we did it, followed through on it, and actually made it happen. And then I started realizing, hey, you can do anything, right? And then we got better at fine tuning and all that other fun stuff. But the idea there was like, hey, we time blocked it. It was in existence. Now, have there been time blocks that I moved? Absolutely, right? We planned on taking vacation in 2020. Couldn't really get on an airplane, so that was a little weird. But again, you prioritize and execute. If the priority is And if you ask my kids, like if you ever see them, ask them, who's your dad's priority? In unison, at least the first two kids will say us and our siblings, or me and my siblings, right? They're gonna answer that. So put them to the test, at least the two older ones. The youngest one, they're kind of like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't talk to strangers, you know? The two older ones, they'll talk to you and they'll tell you that our priority is that. Right now, secretly, we do take care of ourselves, you know, you gotta, that's why that first portion of the day, even if you carve out 30 minutes, if you're a parent, or 15 minutes, or 5 minutes, as Tony Robbins would say, give yourself that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even when you're like dead tired at 5 o'clock and you're getting up before the kids, or 5:15. You know, Mike's wife, Orly Cochette, when she was here, she said, if all else fails, if I can walk to the bathroom, you said bathroom, brush my teeth, my personal day is a success. My kids can run, harass me, life could fall apart, clients could be calling me, but if I have those like 10 minutes, you know, or whatever it is, she's like, I've centered myself. There you go, right? Monica's the same way. She's like, babe, if you can just give me from 5:40 to 6 o'clock in the morning,
I love it.
I will not kill you.
Oh, that's awesome. Great incentive.
She never said it to me, but her face said no. I know she's a better Monica when she didn't want to do. Totally, you gotta read the body language sometimes.
You don't see, you will kind of like, guess you didn't get the time when.
You know, it was a crazy morning when we canceled the morning call. That's like, oh, it's falling apart at their house. Kidding, but in all seriousness, whatever that is for you, right? Like, you know, the miracle morning, it's an hour and a half, or Tony Robbins' hour of power and all this stuff, power hour. You know, you might not have an hour. You might only have 5 minutes. Make it within that 30 minutes. Make it count, absolutely. I'm gonna flip back to like my personal calendar, and again, it's not. Oh, I should probably just read on here, guys. Sorry, it's kind of month view for the week. Kind of want to end on a relative high note, because I don't want you guys to feel like this should be like overbearing at all.
No, this should be fun and like set you up for success.
I learned something today. Yeah, I actually figured it out. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a miracle, guys. You guys get $1 million for that.
And any questions online before we shift into closing? And it's also recorded, so we'll shoot this out through MJ as best we can. We'll probably do another one of these too after the business.
Oh, okay, so you're gonna send it to us? Okay.
Oh, yeah, MJ will.
Cool.
So again, now this is where it gets a little creative. Like if you notice kind of our time blocks at night, it's heavily child involved, like kids involved, right? If you don't have the children situation, awesome. You know, maybe you give back some of your time to a calling, something that calls you, right? Like I really wish Monica and I were more zeroed in our 20s before we had Max. Like I thought we were like pretty ambitious and worked a lot. We didn't know what work was until we had our kids, right? So I really truly applaud those who get after it, stay focused without the kids, or maybe with grown children, you know, because it for me, I can just say, hey, I have my bookmarks and I just make my life effective in that period of time. Others, it might be in a fun way, joining a soccer club, you know, and joining a league, right? It might be a hiking crew. It might be a running club. You know, something that truly is like part of your passion, right? You know, Monica and I are still kind of finding, we're passionate for each other, no doubt. But I mean, we'll start working on finding our own little passionate things to do on our own, right? Like Monica and I are exploring jujitsu because our son does jujitsu.
Cool.
But yeah, it'd probably be cool, right?
Be good for you, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. But we don't get there without him, you know, trying to figure out if it's something for him. And I'm like, oh, dude, you're failing at it, and this is great. You're struggling at it, and this is great. And those are like little conversations that we have with our kids. Hey, you're struggling. That means you're doing good. You know, that means you're getting it. That means you're interested. You're not quitting. And not to mention you finish what you start. So we prepaid a month, better finish that month. So there is some parental positive peer pressure there, parental pressure on that. But on that note, you kind of, again, you develop what works for you, and then you can kind of see your weeks. And then there's some weeks where, yeah, a business planning clinic takes up 3 hours of your day, but don't fail, because you can always move that stuff, those calendar blocks around, right? Like obviously I won't be at this, so I'm just going to delete it going into that week. But But yeah, there's some time, some white space before the kids. There's always this saying that says if you must erase, just replace, right? Don't throw it out completely unless you're on vacation and then you just make that choice, thumbs up, power of choice, right? But in the meantime, you can move stuff around. If I know for sure, like, yeah, that's a tight afternoon, I might take this block of hour of power and make it a 2-hour block on Tuesday because I don't have a team meeting here with you guys, right? So I might do an extra hour of phone calls and get an extra 5 to 10 contacts in that day, right? So it's not being totally rigid, right? Bend as much as you need to bend, but don't break. If we know from reading the one thing, I'm gonna just say that, hey, we're solid with ourselves, we're good with our kids, they're at school, doing the school thing, or however we start our day. We got our mindset down, we got our scripts and role play. I'm gonna take for granted that our one thing from a lead generation business standpoint is lead generation. Some version of lead follow-up and making those contacts to find them motivated, right? And so if that's our one thing in real estate, then guess what? You could literally win the day by 12 noon. If you just get someone to say, yes, Rachel, I am interested, not interested right now, this moment in meeting you to sell my house, but give me some time, put me on your email update. And yeah, maybe at some point I may know someone or myself. Now it might not sound that easy, but if you're adding a lead to your pipeline, one every day, and it's 10 a.m. you did it, double high five, you crushed it, right? I'm not saying quit that moment, go for a banner day and get another one, right? But if you stick to it by 12 noon, your real estate day is over. Anything after that is house money, right? Updating your database, updating your flyers to post on social media, posting social media content, coming in here for training, crushing happy hour, doing those different things now just become part of your day, right? And then that white space, again, I wish I had the discipline I have now, but thank God for what we went through. It kind of gave us perspective. But if you have that space of time, maybe that's time you volunteer, right? Rachel, you're not only a parent, but you're also like heavily volunteered in your community, right? And now you become the resource and consultant for those hubs. And that's a different conversation that we'll have, about building those communities. I say that this is all family time, but you know what? It also doubles as our community time, right? So when I say, you guys see this pack 777, my wife's a pack leader there, or den leader and a pack leader. So meaning that she volunteers with other people's kids. She teaches at the first grade, second grade level in that group. Our daughter's in that group as well. So there's a little bit of self-interest in making sure our daughter gets the right teachings and all that stuff. But we're getting to know parents that we otherwise wouldn't have met. And that's what I mean by being a part of clubs. It just kind of gives you a different, fresh perspective on the world and on life. You feel rejuvenated and you're putting your energy and passion into something that's not real estate, right? We're a part of our troop, right? Our troop 777, that's a little old, that's where our son is at. Our son does jujitsu every day, so I'm getting to meet parents on that scale. Picking up the kids after school is a gift now that I'm not teaching Ignite, so I kind of get there a little early and I chat with 1 or 2 parents on a regular basis, some of the regulars, and you build these relationships. And if all business is and life is relationships, guess what? When they have a real estate question, who are they asking? Yeah, exactly, right? You're in their ear, they know what you do, and you're just in the same place. And if you don't have kids, don't go hang out at school, right? But find a different place to put yourself into that fills you up, right? That fills your soul. It fills my soul to pick up my kids after school. It sounds silly, but that's kind of like my son said. Our daughter does gymnastics. My wife, we have to divide and conquer a little bit, but she takes her to that. Now, because thanks to Cobra Kai on Netflix, she wants to learn karate.
I love it.
Yeah. So she's not doing jujitsu, because God forbid they don't do jujitsu on Cobra Kai, but she wants to join karate. So we're testing out some different places, and and our other daughter wants to do dance. So yeah, that's an interesting challenge that we're going to be coming across, but we'll figure that stuff out as we go along. But again, the last little thing I wanted to share with you guys is this little note here I have called Shutdown Complete. It's just an end of day 30-minute block to give yourself when you're returning phone calls. It's recurring every day at 5:30 or 5 to 5:30 for me. Again, for that day, I can readjust it. Some days I end it super early. Like, okay, I know the rest of the day on this Monday, I'm not going to return calls. So I'm going to go camping or whatever it is, right? But I use that 30-minute block to return phone calls, return text messages, email before I go dark. Right? And, you know, obviously Maureen would know when we're disappearing for a camping trip without cell phone reception or whatever it is. We might let our clients know that, or the agents on other sides of deals know that. I think I was like Camp Whitset or whatever, and there was like a full week where no one could get a hold of me. And when I got back from the mountain, there was like 300 text messages and, you know, a bunch of emails, and thanks to Maureen, they all kind of answered themselves, right? So hopefully, guys, this was a helpful class. Any Q&A,
Yes.
question and answer, anything that we can answer while we're here together. And again, I don't want you guys to get lost in what this what that calendar is, but I just want to make sure we got some of the points across on the whys and all that fun stuff with doing this.
No, it's great.
I have a question,
Sure.
like, say if I wanted to send a copy of my calendar to Louisa, is that possible?
Absolutely. You can actually loop her into it. Share contact, here we go. So yeah, you can totally share it. I mean, you can actually even loop her into it, or you can do screenshot. You can screenshot the whole thing and send it over to her. Monica, I have her tied in like all the kids stuff,
Mhm.
right? Working lunch, I see my alarm went off. There it is.
Can you automatically tie people to everything, you know,
Oh, yeah.
like your kid stuff?
Absolutely. So like if I go down. Actually, good question. I don't know if Monica's on this one, so I usually take naps. But if I wanted to add her to it, I go to edit and I'll go to. Oh, add notification. No, not add notification. Oh, it's on the right side. Add guest. And then. So let's type in Monica. Yeah, there you go.
And
K-Rock.
it's to her calendar?
It gives her a Google invite. Yeah, so have you ever worked with a loan officers especially use it, but they'll say like, oh, I'm gonna send you a Google invite. That's basically this. You can schedule appointments and invite people and it will show up as an option.
But can you automatically do that to like all the different, like say you
Oh,
know,
yeah. So if I hit save,
yeah,
it'll give me the option, this event only, this and following events, all events.
well, I guess it's not a bit, like, you know how you make calendars that were, can you do it like with specific calendars?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
So like if this is my family one, right?
Uh-huh.
But this is like a specific appointment, so
Yeah.
his Gooch Training Academy Jiu-Jitsu thing, would be by choice, like I would have Monica on here. And then I could send it to her and it'll be a recurring calendar on her side. Let's see here. I hit cancel, I don't want to save it, but
Hey, Philip, I have a question when you get a moment.
yeah, sure, fire away.
So I don't know how I did it, but somehow I did it because I use my calendar in my iPhone, right? My calendar has everything on here. So somehow I was able to link my Google Calendar to this phone, okay? So I like it, but what's happening is basically it works mostly with any type of Zoom, like an invite, like you just said, a Google invite, like somebody else, like Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment sends me something. What else do I have on here? Like I just have a meeting with someone today and they said, oh, I'm gonna send you a invitation. So that automatically goes to my phone. The problem is this, I can't delete it. Like if I have it on here and I'm gonna go to the meeting and I go to it, you know, I like to clear out my calendar on here. The only way to clear it off of here is decline it after the meeting is over. And I feel like it sends them an email, like ALC, we get the same thing, right? So
if you go here, I have like OPI, other people's, I forget what I titled it as, other people's events or other people's invitations. And you'll see some gray that popped in here, like the ALC clinic. It's actually Maureen's, thank you, by the way, for setting that up, but it's under OPI, under people's invitations. So yeah, it should automatically be like a calendar on your iPhone that you can just click and it just removes them all. There's another one that I'm part of, the SRA or broker owner thing, broker managers owners. And that was something created by Rich Pisani and the communications committee. And that pops up whenever it pops up. I think it's like every other, here it is. So it'll be like every other week. And yes, it's on the calendar. And you're right, if I want to get rid of it altogether, I have to hit delete.
yeah, but I don't mean on that calendar. I mean that it links to my phone. So I can't get it off my phone unless I decline it after the event. Like one time I did that for ALC and Andrew goes, you can't decline it. You're already going. I'm like, I know, but I have to get it off my calendar.
It won't show on your calendar if you hover over or on your calendars on your phone. And then you tap that, it'll open up a window or a Dropbox with like all the calendars associated with your phone. And then just hover over the thing that you don't want showing and just unclick it. Uncheck
Yeah,
box.
that's not, you're in the wrong program. So what I'm saying is, I can't even show it to you. I'll show it to you when I come in. It links to my iPhone calendar, not this Google calendar.
I know.
So Christine, if you go into edit, like go into the event that you're trying to delete. Click
What I'm
edit.
saying is you can't edit on your phone calendar. You have to go into this calendar, to the Google
It
calendar. to
lets
do-
you edit it on your actual phone.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys have to show me because it's not, no, that's not it.
So I'm seeing it here. If you go to so you're on your this
But
one.
I'm not talking about going into my Google Calendar
No,
app.
right here. This is iPhone calendar, right? And then I'm gonna tap under calendars. And then it opens up all those windows. And then I'm gonna go to, well, OPI, I already have unchecked, but I'm gonna uncheck that gray box and it takes off everyone's Google invites all together.
Yeah, I don't have that. That's not what I'm talking about, but I'll show you when I'm there. I think you guys are in the calendar. I'm in the calendar on the iPhone, not this calendar.
I'm on the same calendar, on the iPhone calendar.
Okay,
Apple calendar.
okay. I'll look at it there because I don't have an option to edit it. There's nothing.
Christine, show what you're looking at onto the, yeah, turn your camera, yeah.
Okay, first I'm going to show you this one. Okay, then I want to do, so like this is a speaker thing. There's no edit. It says
Click on the
accept.
actual event first. Scroll all the way down.
Yeah, so if you don't want that to show, go back to your regular calendar, like where it shows the day. Not at the event, but the whole day event. And at the very bottom, you'll see,
Go back more.
so tap, okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything like that. I mean, I went all the way back, oh shit.
All
To
right,
that.
tap any day on there. Or actually at the bottom, it should show you calendar. Yeah, you know what, look at the very, sorry guys. If you look at the very bottom, you'll see calendars. Today,
Okay.
calendars inbox, tap calendars,
Okay,
and then show us what you see.
okay, I do see that.
Okay, where it says Google. Okay, so you're hitting, oh wait, there's a glare, what's above iCloud? Christine Wheeler contact, okay, go back to iCloud, or no, just raise your phone up so we can see it. Oh, higher. Okay, so where it says meeting 957, I think that's Zoom. But that event that you're referring to, if you just uncheck those boxes, it'll take it off of your iCloud.
Okay.
And then it won't show when you're working through it. It won't be there.
Okay, I'm gonna try that after. I have a Zoom at 2 o'clock with someone
Mhm.
that they invited me. So after I do that, I'll see if I can do that. Take me off.
Oh, no, sure. Yeah. How do I do that? Remove spotlight. There you are. Okay, well, I'm gonna show one more thing on here, one geeky thing that I do. So under, like, you know how we have a ton of Zoom appointments? I copy and paste the whole Zoom link into the description and save. And now if you have the Zoom app, it links to your calendar, and then you can go in there and pull, and you don't have to like find the email. Oh, did Stephanie not send the Zoom link, or did Philip not send the Zoom link? You know, if you just save it on your calendar, unless they tell us explicitly that they changed the Zoom link, you can just click and log on from here.
So how do you see the whole calendar?
Yeah, you should see it all now because everything's checked off.
Where's the calendar at?
Done.
Oh, I see.
Or if you flip your
Oh,
phone sideways like this, it gives you like a whole week calendar. So
Gotcha. Oh, got it. Okay, so it's in there. Okay, cool. Yay.
Woo.
Yay.
So with the Zoom, do you open up a separate calendar for that to save it?
no, I just copy and paste it.
So what? Oh, just on the calendar, just.
Right, so under description, where you have this description box.
Yeah.
I just copy and paste it.
Oh,
all on there.
This is really handy convenient if you do Zooms, because otherwise you're like searching.
I know, like, oh, which link is
I
the
like this one the hard way.
Yeah,
That's
and-
exactly what I did.
And as a little life hack, the office is super simple. They just kind of keep, you know, four huddles and that's it. So like all of our meetings are basically either forward mindset, productivity coaching, mentees, or the Calabasas daily huddle, that's staff. But these three links are pretty much all that we use. So if you're on forward mindset and the sales training or any private, you know, we're gonna do lunch and learn tomorrow. I bet money that it'll be the forward mindset link, you know, so if all you did was just copy paste that recurring link, you're good to go. On that note, where do I go here? Here we are. All right, cool. So guys, we'll do another one of these and maybe next time we might just like have all of our laptops open and then just do like a round table here. I like the Zoom element, you know, because we have different, we're really just spread across the entire valley, so we'll definitely keep the Zoom element, but come back with like the stuff that's working for you, the stuff that isn't working for you. If you guys have like troubleshooting items, you know, I work in the back, I make my calls, all that fun stuff. Harass me when I'm doing forward mindset, like, oh, hey, Philip, I have this question about my calendar. Can we set it up? Like, yeah, let's use forward mindset time and use that to edit your calendars and all that fun stuff. So again, this only works. You make it as pretty as it is. It will only work if you have your priorities in order, right? And I get it, there's some counterbalance, it's not 100% balance, I totally understand. As an example, I'm gonna work with a client tonight at 8 p.m., 15-20 minute phone call, and it's about how does she handle the gift of equity and buying her uncle's house, right? That's a dual agency with $30-something thousand on the line. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna carve out 15 minutes to make sure that she's on board with the whole game plan for us to move forward and open escrow, right? Is it within family time? 100% it is. But you know what? We're gonna bend a little bit, but we're not gonna throw the baby out the bathwater. Now, with that being said, when we're in contract, just food for thought, never answer those questions at night. Always position yourself for like morning call before their day becomes like end of day. Oh my God, I have a ton of stuff to do, all these things. Those things, you put out those fires during the daytime, right? Preferably early morning when you're at your peak and they're at their peak. So, any other questions before we log off?
One more question.
Yep, fire away.
How do you sync it to my phone?
Is that a Google on your phone?
Yeah.
So you go to settings on
On
iPhone.
here?
I
Oh,
bet
on
you already
iPhone.
had this all figured out.
And then under
No,
settings,
I
you
never
link, go to calendars once you're in settings, and then find calendar.
You're so busy.
Like,
There it is.
Yeah.
Even like part, I know I'm like so
And
tired.
they.
Got it.
And then I know how.
And then add calendar.
Like something that I
Oh,
was
see.
one too, there's one underneath it.
So that that might be something you set up higher when you move everything over to calendar. But if you go to
Everybody.
I love people.
oh, it's
Yeah.
sync all events.
So funny.
That one right here, you're actually sync to Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're gonna get email. or Google. And then for yours, you'll go to, go back to one. Let's see, we call it calendar. There you go, you can actually, yeah, bam.
So the default calendar that I have was the. John Hart.
Oh, okay.
And you could unpack that altogether if you wanted to. So this is like to Christine's question. There you go. Well, that's actually, that's the thing with the KW one, you still would have to recreate it on here. And then just copy paste and then, you know, however many times you want to have it repeat. So then maybe that's something we can do more in the weeds. Oh, let me do a quick survey. If the office created a Google invite for forward mindset and sales meetings and all that stuff, would that be a nuisance to you, or would that be helpful
No,
for it to show up on the Google
no.
calendar? Oh,
Cause all we have to do is be accept forever and then all the information we already be in there, you know?
Yes.
The Zoom link on that, so.
Which one are you gonna look up?
then you got it.
I have it, and then-
Email. And then you can, that'll be the default calendar, but then you should have the option. So now when you create the calendar here, it'll show up there.
Okay.
Might give it some time to sync,
Okay.
but it should be pretty instantaneously. Yeah.
So I'm back there, where did you go?
Or
Okay.
Oh, we're late for our thing.
What's that?
That's just for the day, okay, but if I don't want, I see. Oh, it's up there.
We have to flip it sideways.
Oh, that's why it's not.
Okay.
All right, guys, thank you guys for jumping on.